Hello everyone, this is Blankara, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom from Path to Nowhere. So, just continuing fixing up the hair here. Just because there is so much to the hair, it takes a while to go through it all. But I think I've almost got all three of these angles lining up here. I was just taking a look at the little highlight here this morning, and I thought it was a little bit too high. When I compared it to how things were moving on the left head turn, I thought that it should be a little bit lower. So I figured that I'd go ahead and do that first thing before I started working back on the back of her hair and stuff. The spot I left off yesterday. Yeah, and yesterday I did the weekly speed paint. It was a day late, but I'm glad that I waited a day. I think it turned out better for it. And I do like that kind of style, where there's just a very, very, very bright color, and then everything else is just kind of varying shades of gray. I had a lot of fun drawing it. Probably continue doing some more experiments in that style. Might even do some where I take more than like an hour. That is one thing that I have been appreciating about all the speed paints that I've been doing, is that I can do a bunch of really rapid iteration and try things and just have it be done in like an hour. That's not too bad. Not too bad of a time investment to just try something, see what happens, see if I like it, see which aspects I like and which ones I don't, and that kind of thing. And even if it doesn't work out quite the way I hope, I generally have something kind of interesting by the end. So, that's always been kind of cool. I've been thoroughly enjoying that. I'm not sure if I'd recommend speed painting for beginners, but once you've reached kind of an intermediate point, or if you feel like you're hitting a plateau, I think it's great, because it gives you an opportunity to just try lots of different things, and, you know, rapid iteration, basically. And just be able to get a bunch of finished stuff, and have a good way to test ideas. That's interesting. Because when I look at it like this from the diagonal, I actually do not like the lowering of the highlight. That's probably why I had it that high in the first place. It looked much better all the way up there. But it doesn't quite work out with this. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm gonna go fix that dark line that's right next to the highlight before I do anything else. But I do think that the highlight looks better this high up. So that tells me that there's something wrong with the left head turn, and I gotta figure out what it is. Yeah, much better like this. I mean, I guess due to the nature of this being a highlight, I guess it doesn't have to drop down that far. But I feel like at least this middle part should be just a little bit lower here. Maybe I just need to change the shape just a little bit there. And that will get the effect that I want. Got a cough coming, give me just a sec. Alright, there we go. Still a little bit sick, but I think I'm finally starting to get better. Today was the first day I didn't feel the need to take any cold medicine before stream, so that is definitely progress. I'm hoping that it means my throat won't dry out quite as quickly this time. I'm also considering having some spicy ramen for food today. That kind of thing tends to feel pretty nice when I have a little bit of a sore throat. Really does, actually. It's, I don't know, there's just something about it, between the hot water and some of the extra spiciness to it. It just completely flushes my sinuses and does everything nice like that, and just kind of loosens everything up. So yeah, I think I will, and maybe an orange or something. Sounds pretty good, actually. I'm gonna be thinking about that while I'm trying to rig this. Okay, let's see if that highlight is matching up a little bit better now. Might not want to send it so far up. Yeah, that checks out with how it's looking at the bottom there. This might be one of those times where I had a concept, but did not quite work out the way I was hoping. That happens sometimes. I remember during Inktober, there were quite a few where I felt like I had a good idea, but I couldn't quite execute it in the time that I had. Because man, having to pump out something every day is actually pretty hard. It really is. But again, that was kind of the upside for speed paints for me, and why I'm continuing to make them even after Inktober. Because I can try those concepts, and even if they don't work out, it's really not that big a deal. Because I didn't spend that long on them in the first place. Alright, doing better. Now I'm looking at the highlight right next to it here. I see that when I switch on over from the lower head turn to the lower left, I don't know, it doesn't quite look good. Just something about the way a lot of that is moving that is not working for me. So I'm gonna work out which one I think is doing it better, whether it's the lower left or the lower head turn. Currently, I think it's the lower left. So I'm gonna go ahead and line up what's going on here with the lower left, and got another cough. One moment. There we go. This one wasn't quite as bad. But even so, I don't want to blow out your guys' ears while you're just trying to listen to something nice. This coughing is just such an unpleasant little noise there. So let's see. Trying to pinpoint what exactly I don't like about the movement of the highlights through here. But sorry, getting a little bit tongue-tied there. But what I initially didn't like was how this side of the highlight was moving. So that's what initially made me notice it. But I also noticed that this highlight on the other side was not lining up quite right. Now it's doing a bit better. So now I'm gonna work my way across here and try to work out what about this particular area wasn't working. Because even though I saw the problem here initially, I could tell that something about this little triangle here wasn't lining up quite right too. So I'm starting on the other side where it is lining up a little bit better. And then I can work my way all the way across, and hopefully once I have everything over here just the way I want it, it'll make whatever the problem that I cannot currently see a little bit more obvious to me. So yeah, looks like it's being stretched out a little bit. Let's take a good look and make sure that I actually am happy with that shape, because when I come down here, it actually looks a little bit strange, doesn't it? Where it looks like this kind of squeezes in and there's a few shenanigans. This is where I have to decide which angle do I like it better in. And I do think that the lower left has it right. I think the lower left is doing a good job there. I do like the highlight getting a little bit bigger. But I think if I'm going to have that kind of shape, then I need to push this bang out just a little bit more here. Make it a little bit rounder. A little bit rounder, and maybe I can't quite get away with letting the highlight move quite that much. We'll move it down just a little bit here. Should all be fine. Alas, I cannot do nice, airy talking with my voice like this. Being sick is the worst. Okay, that's a little bit better, I think. Okay, and even though I said that I liked the lower left the most, just comparing it with the left made me realize that there was a couple of parts that I wasn't a big fan of. But I think at this point I have the lower left, that triangle there, completely nailed. It looks great. I really like it now. So, I'm gonna go ahead and line everything else up with that. Anything that looks like it's not lining up quite right gets changed. I'm not gonna touch the lower left. Did I say lower right? Look, sometimes my brain thinks the exact opposite of what it wants to say, and the wrong word just comes out of my mouth. Happens all the time. Just one of those things. Okay. Now I'm looking at the line kind of right above it that this triangle kind of points into, determining whether the left turn did it better or the lower left. Actually, before I get into that, I think I want to fix anything wrong on the lower head turn there, but... Okay, other than the weird highlight that brought me down this rabbit hole to begin with, I think everything else is okay. So this is just a matter of deciding how do I want this line to go. And I feel like it should be a little bit less prominent than it is on this lower left turn. So I will go ahead and push it down and try to match it up with the left head turn. I'll match it up first, and then I'll check the diagonal. Alright, looking good, I think. Still got a little bit where this looks like it's getting longer over there. But I think everything else is a lot better. Okay. So now time to figure that out. Okay, well that looks weird. So that tells me that the lower left is probably doing it better. Alright, so I will line this up with the lower left then. Okay, that was a little bit too much there. I did move it quite a lot, so I'm not too surprised. So I'll just move things around a little bit, then go back and check. Okay, that's okay-ish. Now I just need to get this looking better going straight down here, because that looks a bit weird. Look at that. Looks like that highlight is pulsing. I'm not a fan. Let's see here. How do I fix this? How do I go about fixing something like this while still having it line up properly with the lower left? Okay, well I think the first thing is I need to push that entire dark triangle over to the left. Like the whole thing. Very, very gently here, but the whole thing needs to go over there. Okay, yeah, that's already a lot better. Now, the edge, I think, needs to come back to the right. Just like right over here. A little bit this way. And I think it's fine if the highlights get a little bit longer. I don't want them to look like they're pulsing, but As long as it looks like it's just because of the head turning. Right now it really doesn't. So that tells me I have a little bit more work to do here. Right now it's more important that this lines up with an area that I did not deform, you know, the very center there, as opposed to an area where I did, like the lower left. Okay, yeah, there we go. That's already looking better. I think it's fine for the highlight to grow that much. Just looks like a little bit more light is shining on it now, and I think that is perfectly fine. It makes sense. Since more of her head, the top of her hair there, should be hitting the light in theory. I've mentioned in the past that I think that this strand here is very, very important for describing the way the head is turning, and I just noticed that it was squirming quite a lot there. So I figured that I'd take some time to get it into a better shape, and oh man, that is so much better. Holy cow. I wouldn't think that such a small detail could make such a big difference. But it really does. Just anything that shows the general shape of the head and how it's turning, it definitely helps. That's also why I pay so much attention to, like, these areas here, where there's hair coming out from underneath. Okay, I think that's looking much better now. So now let's make sure that everything lines up with the lower left, and it's actually not looking too bad. Got a few things I want to fix. But I think I actually want to fix them on the lower left. Mostly just around that little highlight there. Getting him just right. Yeah, and I think that looks alright. Still got a little bit of weirdness in the highlight there. Let me see here. It's like there's this little, like we have this lighter area, this kind of light pink. And then there's a slightly darker light pink here before it goes back into the darker purple. And right now that darker of the two light pinks is the part that's not looking good to me. One moment, got another cough coming. I'm kind of hoping I'm reaching the point where I don't feel the need to take cold medicine when I go to bed. It's because I do think that not having to do that will help. I always tend to be very, very dry when I get up in the morning. It's not surprising because what that medicine does to help you is it stops your body from making so much mucus. That stops you from getting all stuffed up while you're trying to sleep. But it does have the side effect that it kind of dries you out. It's kind of similar with other medicines that use antihistamines, with like allergy medicine, for example. Now that, even if you do not get the drowsy kind, still dries you out a bit. Alright, there we go. I think we're looking good. Does the diagonal still look good? I think so. Huzzah. It's alright, soon I'll be able to go in and start cleaning all this up. We're almost there. Okay. Just going to... So now I'm looking at the highlights on this strand here. You can see that they are super wiggly right now, and among other things. There's lots of wiggling happening there. So something's got to be lined up better. So far, I think that the lower left and the bottom are actually lining up great. So it means that I need to change the left. I think that's where I left off last time, when my throat was just starting to die. Trying to line all of these up. So let's go ahead and start getting this area just right. Get it just right. I don't mind if the highlight moves a little bit. That's totally fine. Totally normal. But I do want the kind of general shape of the hair to be in a good spot, and I want the highlight to look like it's moving because of the head turn, as opposed to just squirming for no apparent reason. So I'll just go ahead and try some things and see what works and what doesn't. Here I thought that I'd try to move things over a little bit to the right, but I don't think that looked good when I moved it from the center back to the left. So I was trying something else there too. It's very possible that I just need to move the entire strand, get a big brush here, over to the left just a tiny bit there. Oh, that's probably too much even. Just a little. Just a little tap. Can't let my hand get overly excited there. Otherwise things are just gonna go flying all over the place. Don't really want that to happen. not at all. Okay, and then I do see a little bit of squirming. There's like a highlight behind the side bang here. So I'm gonna go hide it for a second. And really pay attention. And that hair is just distracting me, so... Alright, gonna really pay attention to how that little highlight there is moving. It's like it's gonna be covered up, but it should be good enough that on the frames in between these two keyframes, where it's visible, that it looks good. Because there, I wasn't unsatisfied with its location, I was unsatisfied with the movement between the two keyframes. And ultimately, the movement is what matters the most. How it looks when it's still is way less important than how it looks while it's moving. Okay, this is just showing me a couple of other areas to touch up just a little bit. Again, not really focused on making them neat just yet, but I do want them to be in roughly the right place. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So now I'll do the same thing for the left to the lower left. And then hopefully all of the problems will be solved. And everything should look okay once I turn all of the missing hair back on. Yeah, much better. Okay, yeah, that's looking a bit better there. Still, yeah, still got a little bit of stuff up in the corner here that's not looking quite right when I move her head from the center to downward. So let's go ahead and fix that now. Just gonna get a big old brush and move like everything into the left here. Did not like that movement at all. There we go. That's better. Now I'll just touch up the last few areas that I don't like quite as much. Make everything look reasonably good. Not perfect just yet, because I'm, like I said, still not cleaning things up. Just getting the general gist of where everything is gonna live. Okay, that is not working. That is not working at all. Okay. This does need to be up here. And so that means that whatever doesn't work with that must move. So I'm gonna go ahead and focus on getting this diagonal correct again. Man, I don't think I've ever said nope so hard at a little bit of movement there since the last time her hair tried to stab me. There's no lethal weapons this time, but it was still not a very attractive movement. Okay. But I think this is better. Okay, cool. So now I just gotta line the other two back up here. I don't think they're too far off, though. Okay, this seems alright. Got a little bit of sliding in that little highlight there. Let me see, how does that look? How does that look in the diagonal here? Okay, looks fine on the diagonal, so I'll fix it on this side. Okay, I think that's fine. It's okay if the highlight shifts a little bit. Alright. Now then, was there something else I wanted to fix? Yes. This kind of a more salmon-y pink color right through there in the very back. Did not like the way it looked when going from the bottom to the bottom left. This is a case where I think the problem is actually the bottom left. Okay, so those... I'm actually going to consult the mesh on this. I can tell that they're scrunching together, but I want to see how. Okay. See all the vertices just being squished. So I can bring them on back this way. And hopefully that should help them out a bit. So they don't feel quite so squashed. There we go. Alright, still got a few more things to fix up here, but better. Still got another cough here. Should have had some more water before stream. I might actually go grab some. Because my throat does feel very, very dry tonight. Alright, so here I'm going to try to make it so that this top part, like where the color starts getting lighter, is a little bit more to the left. So this way when her head turns left, it looks like it's moving to the left. I think that should help it quite a lot. And actually, yes, I think I will go grab some water real quick, and I just realized that my mouth has not been moving. Should fix that. But communicating telepathically this entire time today. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. Ah, much better. Okay. Now then, where was I? I was moving this highlight further to the left. I did unmute, right? Yes, I did. Okay. We're good. Just gonna move this whole thing right on over. Just gonna keep sliding it on over until I'm happy with it. And raise parts of it up that I think look better a little bit higher due to the angle. Yeah, doing a little bit better there. Just gotta move everything else over along with it. So this way it doesn't look like it's getting squished. Want it to look like it's moving along, not being crushed. I'd feel bad for any little crushed vertices. Alright, yeah, that is doing much better. Let me make sure that I like the way this looks From here. Yes, yes I do. How about from here? Oh yeah, it's doing much better from there too. Got some work to do there, but that's okay. I'm gonna start here because I think that this is a good illustration for how I want it to move. So if I can get the lower left lined up just the way I want it, that should give me lots of good clues for how I want the left to look as well. Yeah, so far so good. Now I'm just trying to get the general individual shapes right. Like, if you look at it how I have it from here, or even from here, that this is actually pretty bumpy. And when I moved it down, it's actually even bumpier. It looks fine, so I'm not gonna worry about it being even bumpier. I'm just gonna call that good. But I should capture that bumpiness over on this turn too. Not let it get too smooth. There we go. Yeah. That's looking good. Okay, yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Although looking at that made me realize I was not quite satisfied with how this dark part on her hair is moving over here. So I'm gonna try to line that up as well. Truly, the nature of perhaps not just art, but life in general. Fix one problem, two more show their face. It's okay, it means there's always something to improve. Life can always get a little bit better. Okay, yep, I think that's better. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So, now let's line everything up with the left turn. That little bit in the very back of her hair there. I'm gonna worry about these top turns a little bit later. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the lower ones, or at least these three, and then I'll worry about fixing up this one. Because I can tell looking at it that I think there are a few things that I want to change. I'm not sure if I'm happy with her chin anymore, for example. But I will cross that bridge when I get there. Gonna grab some more water here. Ah, okay. Alright, let's just go ahead and fix all these things now. And actually, I'm doing this again because I'm staring at something. Let's see, because I noticed right here, this dark area wasn't quite lining up the way that I wanted it to here. So I'm seeing which area needs to be fixed. I'm thinking it's probably the lower left, but I'm double checking. Yeah, let's go ahead and line up the lower left with the bottom turn right over there. I feel like my brain's coming back at least. I can actually see things now. We'll definitely have to make sure to drink lots of extra water today. That should help me feel a bit better. Okay. I think that's looking a little bit better. So now let's line it up with the left a little bit. Poof this out over here. Just move the entire strand over to the left just a little there. And I think that should line it up. Still got a few lumps I gotta work out, but I think I'm heading in the right direction. And that should look pretty good once I clean it all up. Let's floof out this bottom part a little bit too. Let's make her hair super round and floofy. Always a good time. Okay. Getting that outer shape a little bit better there. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I think the amount that this highlight is moving is actually appropriate now. Still looks good on the diagonal. Okay. Now then, back to lining up this back part. Tomorrow. Will I clean tomorrow? Or will I go down more rabbit holes? And make things just look a little bit better tomorrow? Who knows? We'll see what I see. But no matter what happens, I will be a little bit closer to having a very nice looking model tomorrow. And I think that's what really matters. Hold on. Cough. Okay. So this is actually going to be interesting. in that I'm not entirely sure if I can get that entire pink area to show like I was able to at the lower left, just due to the nature of where this bang is. It's a little bit higher up here now. I tried to get it to show, but I don't actually think it looks good, so let's go ahead and push that back down. I'll worry about getting rid of all the lumps in her hair later. Get the general shape in here. Try to keep that general shape. Let's get it right down here too. Just kind of left it slightly lumpy there, but that's fine. Okay, there we go. Kind of have that outer shape there. Now then. Okay, gotta push all of that to the left now. And I'll worry about moving the ends down here and seeing how much of that pink I want to show once I get this top part into a better spot. Okay, that's not bad. That might actually be just fine. The weirdness in the loop here aside, but I think for the pink part that's actually okay. Does the loop look okay here? Okay, if I can... I'm not sure if I can, but if I can get this back part there just a little bit better. Unfortunately, I really should not have been lazy and just cut that entire loop out, so this way I could move it separately. But alas, choices were made, and I don't want to redo them. I must live with the consequences of my actions. Maybe in the future, I will not make them again. Okay, I think that's okay. So now I can focus on getting the top part of this loop in a good spot. I'm pretty sure I just moved that vertex over because I was hoping it would help with this pink area, but it needs to be over here. That is a necessity. Okay, I think that looks okay. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, and then I remember one last little thing that I wanted to fix down here. Was, around, like, the very end of that tip there. I didn't like it. I just wanted to raise, like, half of it upward a little bit there. I thought it was moving down more than the little strands around it, so that's a sign I gotta lift it on up. Make sure all of this is aligned perfectly. And then just some minor things to help fix the highlights from when I stretched things out. Very minor things, but they were bothering me, so I wanted to fix it. Yeah, there we go, that's better. Okay. Oh man. So I think tomorrow we do some cleaning. Cleaning or rabbit holes, what will I find? We'll see what my future self thinks on how all of this is going. I think she's looking pretty good. Looks like her head is moving around. And I'm happy. Look at her go. Alright, but I think I will stop there for today. And get me my spicy ramen. Alright, well, thank you all for coming. If you'd like me to take a look at your own creative projects, whether that be art, writing, coding, game design, or any creative pursuit you can think of, feel free to message or add me on the social media platform of your choice, and I'll take a look, maybe leave some comments. I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.